Alright, so you guys asked for this a while ago, and here it is. An update on my mom's 14 Escape. So what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you for joining me today, and with me for the time being is the 2014 Ford Escape SE front-wheel drive 1.6 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder, yada yada yada. This is actually going to be a pretty short short video, I should say. But a while ago, some people were actually commenting, wanting to know, how's this thing doing? It has been almost 2 years since my mom purchased it, giving up an 09 Kia Sportage, which she had for about a year, and that thing was turning into some bad news. But before that, she had a 04 Chevrolet Malibu Classic, and she had that car for 12 years without any issues at all, nothing major. That car was phenomenal. So when it comes to my mom's car and something that's going to be nearly a saint like that Malibu set some pretty high standards over the course of the time that my mom has had it. And so far, this thing, well, unfortunately, it's really not meeting up to those standards. Actually, it's gonna have to go a long time with no issues before it even gets close to the Malibu status. So let me explain. 14 Escape SE front-wheel drive 1.6 liter EcoBoost. I know we went through this already, but it was a certified pre-owned Ford CPO, which means it has a 7-year 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, and that's going off of the existing brand new warranty, so it's not like it gets an additional 7 years. However, it offers peace of mind. So yeah, a couple of recent things. It got 2 brand new front tires just a couple weeks ago, actually. Something punctured the sidewall on the tire that was here, so I mountain balanced 2 new tires a couple weeks ago. We also did an oil change. Honestly, it's the second oil change that this car's ever had because, well, it really doesn't get driven. The back tires, the 2 back tires are newer, probably within the last year because something punctured them. Yeah, something about my mom, my brother, my sister, they don't have good luck with tires at all. It's got the dual exhaust, yay. That's pretty much it, other than the oil changes and whatnot. It's had 2 oil changes. We documented the very first one, and the one that we just did a few weeks ago. My mom hasn't even put 10,000 miles on this car yet. I think when we bought the car, it had, I want to say, around 63 or 64,000, and it's getting ready to turn over to 72,000. It really doesn't get much use. Actually, me taking it to work today, and I'll get into that, but I took it to work today, and that's probably the most mileage it's had in one day, anyway. So, I don't know. So let's hop in because it's cold out here and I think the snow's coming back. Let's hop in and I will tell you what you guys want to know about this Escape. It is at 71,960. So like I said, it's getting ready to turn over to 72,000. And yeah, let's begin. I don't remember exact timelines at this point, but I do know the first issue that we had, which wasn't a major issue, but it was a very important issue. And it had to be taken care of because, yeah, it's pretty bad. Could have been pretty bad. But if you recall, in the very first video that we did our oil change and we crawled underneath the car, and we saw that there was a bunch of oil everywhere. And at first, couldn't really figure out, at least from the angle that I was at, because, you know, I'm on the ground, and the lighting's bad, and I'm trying to, like, use my phone and such to figure some stuff out. But, yeah, there was a massive oil leak coming from somewhere under the car on the backside of the engine, around the turbo area. And I think I told you guys this. It ended up being the oil feed pipe that goes to the turbo. And that is, you know, one reason why I've always had an issue with owning something with a turbo. And honestly, the only reason why I told my mom to, you know, go forth with owning this thing with a turbo, you know, because it was still under warranty and the mileage wasn't that bad, you know. I figured, you know, it still got some life, but we already had our first issue related to the turbo, and that was the oil feed pipe. And obviously, you need oil to go to the turbo to keep the turbo lubricated, because if the turbo is not lubricated, then it's going to cause a whole mess of things and can lead to some extremely costly repairs. So that was the first thing, taken care of, covered under warranty, and that was the end of that. Sometime last summer, I don't think I really got to tell you guys this story, but I want to say it was during the summer of last year, 2020, and I think my brother called me. My mom or my brother called me. One of the two called me and said there's something wrong with the car. My brother was actually driving the car, and he was hauling some stuff. Not like hauling like a trailer stuff. We don't have a trailer, but he had stuff in the back. He's actually moving, so he borrowed this car to you know, move some clothes, some boxes and stuff. And he was in the car, and when he was driving it, the transmission went into limp mode. You know, a message came up on the dashboard that said something about a transmission fault. And needless to say, it was stuck to like maybe a gear or two. I don't know. When you would shift it into drive or reverse, it wouldn't even go into gear right away. You were sitting in neutral. And then all of a sudden, if you left it in either gear or whatnot, it would buck into gear. Like, I mean, the whole thing, the car would just boom into gear. And, you know, like I said, it was in limp mode, but we were able to drive the car back to the house. And from there, we actually called a tow truck. Again, that was covered under the warranty. The tow was covered under warranty and all that stuff. So we didn't have to pay for the tow. Car went to the dealership, and long story short, they actually ended up rebuilding half of the transmission. So I guess there was a small bushing or something in the transmission that actually gave out. And from my understanding, I guess that's actually a pretty common thing with these particular transmissions and these. I didn't know that, but this thing gave out and grenaded or something and caused destruction to, like, you know, half, maybe a little more than half of the transmission. So the car was at the dealership for a few days, and the transmission was basically rebuilt. And I think they didn't replace everything in the transmission. They looked everything over and looked for all the stuff that showed some obvious significant damage, and it was replaced. So I don't remember the exact mileage on that, but that did happen. And yeah, that was kind of surprising, you know. So transmission was rebuilt over the summer, and yeah. So here we are today, probably 6, 7, maybe 8 months later. I don't know. You know, many months later, and it's time for the other oil change, like I said. So I had my mom, you know, bring it to my place of work, and I was going to do it after hours when all my stuff was done. So I met my mom at my place of work, and I started smelling the oil again, the burning oil, and that was the smell that I remember smelling when her feed pipe was leaking oil from the first time. So I thought that there was another leak with the feed pipe. So, you know, I get the car in the air, I drain the oil, I start looking back there, and sure enough, there's another leak. However, it's not as bad this time, but it's coming directly from the turbo. Again, another turbo issue. Yeah, oh, it's like turbos. this is what I've always worried about with having a car that has a turbo is you got these stupid potential issues, and so far this is the second one, the second issue turbo related with this particular car. So I got a second opinion, while I was still at work, and we were, looking at it, and sure enough, yeah, it's the turbo. The turbo is failing, I should say, on the inside, and leaking oil where it shouldn't be, and it's seeping outside of the turbo. So, now I got to quote a turbo, which when you're doing a turbo, apparently you have to replace the coolant lines, the oil feed lines, basically all the lines going to the turbo, and some, So we ran a quote, and then we come to find out that through the system, when you run the VIN number, the certified warranty had just expired the day before we did the oil change. What are the odds of that? That the day before, as I'm doing the oil change, the warranty had expired one day prior. So that means this turbo repair now is out of pocket. Warranty's up. We got our first major expense coming out because of the the turbo, and yeah, so that's what happened today. We ended up I took the car to work. I didn't work on it, but one of the other technicians was working on it. It was a 6-hour job, and this thing now has a brand new turbo, new feed pipe, new coolant lines for the turbo. The list is on the seat in front of me, or right next to me, and it was a very costly repair. So that's it. That's all that I have as far as the update on this car. Those are the 3 things that have really been wrong with it. The tires don't really count all that much because that's just something that happens. But yeah, 2 turbo issues and 1 transmission issue. That's kind of surprising. Now, at all, does this hinder my thoughts on Ford quality or anything? Honestly, no. I don't want. I'm sure everybody is going to start jumping into the comments, and they're going to say something like Chevy is better than Ford or whatever. No, I do not. I don't think of it that way. This car, when this car was bought, and at the previous dealership that we bought it at, it was obviously in good enough mechanical shape that they offered a certified on it. You're not supposed to just throw a certified sticker on a piece of junk, and that's not really how that's supposed to work. The certification comes when you look the car over. It goes through a rigorous inspection, a checklist, a huge checklist at that, and everything has to be in order for the car to get approved for a certification. So this car was good enough for that. As far as the issues that have just taken place over the last 2 years and whatnot, that stuff just happens. So I don't necessarily blame Ford or anything like that. The turbo isn't even from Ford, by the way. It's a Borg-Warner turbo. That's where the turbos come from, Borg-Warner. I didn't know that. I should have known that. I should have known because I remember we were talking in school when we were talking about turbochargers. Found out, a lot of manufacturers don't actually build their own turbos. They outsource them. So Borg-Warner is who puts the turbos on at least this EcoBoost engine. That's the exact same turbo that went back on it. So yeah. But no, I do not think any less of Ford. I have personally had great experience with all the Ford cars that I have had. The Fiesta is over 4-year ownership now, and that car has been, phenomenal. My Fusion, we're going to be going into 3 years in July, and it too has been proven to be a good vehicle. My Escape, I had the last generation Escape before this one here, and I had no major issues at all, really. The transmission seal on the drive axle, that was it. That was the one big job that I had to do with it. And no, I can't think any less of Fords, but this stuff happens, unfortunately. And hopefully, we won't have any more issues. If anything else turbo related comes up over the next 2 years, it will be covered. So there's a 2-year warranty on any of the new parts that were replaced associated with the turbo. So that will be taken care of. Hopefully no more transmission issues. Hopefully no major engine issues. I mean, that's all we can hope for, But it is surprising. I'm not going to lie. I was very surprised at all of these weird issues coming up with, with this car. So I really don't know what else to say, but you guys wanted an update on this Escape, and there it is. So that's all I've got. All I got for today. So if you guys enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, keep your comments nice, keep them clean, don't be mean, and subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. That's all that I've got. I'm going to run this back, get my car, call it a night. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.